Well, ladies and gentlemen, you need to strap yourselves in and get ready for a long one. So shoot off now, get you a cup of tea, some bickies, or a beer and some chips, scotch, and what goes with scotch? Anyway, coming up is quite a long video because this is catch-up stuff. You'll notice there's a bit of a break in the middle of this video because we shot over to the East Coast to do another job over there, so you'll see that halfway through this video. So a little bit disjointed because of that, and it's that portion of it's not very long. We only took some photos, but we were over there for a week sorting this particular project out, and then we continue on, we come back and carry on. So yeah, as I say, settle in for this big long one. It's going. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys something. It's been a long time since I've done miter joins on a curved Scotia with timber. I probably should turn the torch out so it doesn't blind you guys. But anyway, what I'm doing, this is pine and it's a curved Scotia. You can see the curve there. I've got to do a 45-degree join, you know, so the Scotia's up on the ceiling and it's going to join together like that. But not only that, it's got a 7-degree slope as well as a 45-degree join. So many years ago I used to own a coping saw. Don't know if you know what a coping saw. Some of my building friends would know what a coping saw is. It's a really fine D-shaped saw with a little handle on it, like that handle, and the blade flexes so that you can get around tricky things like this here. Now look at this. Very delicate, especially when you don't have a coping saw. I've had to carve this out with my knife. What that's going to do is that's going to allow me to pretty much do away with that 7-degree angle, and that's going to butt in up in the top corner. So let's go and have a look how that butts in. Okay, so I'm going to show you. We've done all the Scotias right around the room as Barb's showing you right now, but the last one's always tends to be a little bit trickier because you've got to fit them perfectly into each other. And here's that piece that I've coped out, carved out, as you might say, because of the using a knife rather than a coping saw. And then that just fits beautifully. Let's hope for the camera into that corner like that there. So maybe a little bit of trimming up that I still have to do, but yeah, you can see that it just sits beautifully around the curve, and that solves that 7-degree problem. All right, well, I think it's time for what's been going on. To be honest, I haven't been recording too much because I've just been going for it with the linings, and I don't know, might be just a wee bit boring to watch me lifting sheets and nailing sheets, and I guess I can do a wee time lapse. I'm down the end of that wall there now, and we've got those bits up the top there to do, and up here, and then we've got this wall to do still, but I've got to put the cavity slider in this side here. You can see that the other cavity slider is in. I don't think I've shown you that yet. We've chosen to go with pretty small cavity sliders, so I'll just show you what they're about. This is a cavity slider before it gets installed. This is how it arrives, and when you install it, it then becomes this here. This is the other side of the cavity slider, so you can see why the openings were so big now. There's the opening there for this one that's about to go in, and then the opening for this one. But these are small cavity sliders. This is width here is only 700 wide. This is 710 door, so it's probably only 690 wide. By the time it's a little bit of door behind the there and there. However, what I have been busy doing is completing this room in here. I think it's reasonably tidy too. Barbara's been in here tidying up today. So you'll see that the architraves are all on, the Scotias are on, there's a couple of battens on the ceiling. I've got a couple of battens to do here and there, nothing major though. Effectively, this room is finished, apart from, well, I shouldn't say finished then, should I? It needs polyurethane and carpet. And then we will be moving in. This is our bedroom. Even though we haven't got power, Our electrician doesn't like to be filmed, so you're not going to see any of that really. And it's nothing special. Oh, sorry, Sparky. It is special. It's off grid. But yeah, we've got some wiring down here, plugs and bits and pieces, We've got this massive fridge. We're in a tiny home, and we've got, I think it's a 450 litre fridge. However, you'll be going, man, they suck up the power, those things. You have to have a lot of big solar system. Well, this is the most economical fridge we could find. It's an 8-star appliance. I don't know if you guys know, here in New Zealand we have a star rating for our appliances, and this one for energy wise is 8-star. To give you an idea, this fridge, even though it's that big, is 4 times more efficient than the fridge that we have in our little camper. So we've got a 90 litre fridge in there. This is a 450 litre fridge, and yeah, 4 times more. Right, I'll get into it. I'll install this second cavity slider. What I've had to do is I'm not lining this wardrobe in here yet, because there are some services to come in here. There's plumbing for the kitchenette. I say kitchenette, it's just going to be a sink, kitchen sink with hot and cold water, and we'll have a gas bottle with a cooktop on top of the bench probably, and then diesel heater coming in there as well. So yeah, I'm leaving that open for the moment, but those doors are pretty small, so I thought I'd better put these sheets in here so I can line it later on, because once I've got this second cavity slider in, there's only that gap there to get 2.4 by 1.2 sheets in, so I don't want to be cutting them up to try and get them in. So yeah, they're in there waiting, and I will install that cavity slider now. The cavity slider is installed. Pretty straightforward. You have to make sure everything's very level, because you don't want it so that the cavity slider self-opens or self-closes. So you should have it so that wherever the cavity closer stops, or you stop it, it'll stay there. It won't carry on moving and close or open by itself. So let's go and have a look at that. So you would have seen that I was using the level and the straight edge a lot. You've got to make sure it's all nice and level, for this reason, you know. So if I stopped opening it there, it won't carry on moving, i.e. it's not downhill and it won't carry on closing. If you close it, it stays closed by itself, and it won't roll back and open all the time, which is a pain in the butt if that happens. So yeah, that's the cavity slider all installed. Now we've got to get on with the rest of the lining, finish off the living area. And we're back from Christchurch after building the cabin for Nick and Beth. Another beautiful sunset. Duke, surrounded by sticks.
Finished our fish and chips.
Finishing our fish and chips. Well, as you saw in that little video, we are back on the west coast. Now, you are probably thinking, well, I didn't know you went anywhere. Where have you been? So here's a few pictures of where we've been. Right, we're straight back into it, and something I forgot to show you guys, well, before I started lining the inside of the cabin. There's a process you need to go through before you can start lining. So I'm going to show you that. I've actually got what's called a moisture meter here. and that gives you a reading to say, yep, you can go ahead and line. It has to be below a certain moisture reading. So I'm just going to show you here. Here's my moisture meter. It's on and ready to go. It's showing inside here that it's 19 degrees. And let's go down to the bottom plate, because the bottom plate's where it's most likely to be damp. If it was going to be damp, it's not going to be damp, is it? Of course not, because I've already checked. 16.7, 16.6. So that's quite good. Anything below 18 is definitely acceptable. So let's check a few other spots as well. It's worth mentioning that I'm on the south wall here. So the south wall in the southern hemisphere is likely to get the most rain, etc. Showing 12. We're halfway up the wall here. It's showing 12.4, so even better. Let's go to the north wall and see what it shows down here on the bottom plates. There's the jandals. 12.9. Let's go a wee bit higher. Yeah, it's getting really low here, so 10.43. Let's go real high. Yeah, 10.9, so very, very acceptable. So if you've been watching in previous videos, I have mentioned that the east gets a lot of the bad weather. It seems to come from the east or the east-northeast direction, which is this corner here in the bedroom. Now you can see the discoloration in the floor because a lot of water got in here when it was raining, and I still hadn't put this window in. So let's use the moisture meter and see what reading we get down here. So I'm going to just chuck it straight on the floor, and it's showing 9.7, so that's really good. And also into the ply, but on the bottom plate where it was pulling, still 13.6 showing there, 13.2 over here. So yeah, really, really good, nice and dry. So now we are fully sheeted in the lounge kitchen area. That was the sheet that you just watched in the time lapse. Typical, isn't it? The last little piece of sheet, the gun had a nail jam and made it take longer. Last sheet, always the way, isn't it? All right, and as usual, things have to carry on as normal, and Barb is sorting out the dishes. Going to get probably get dinner ready soon. What's for dinner tonight?
We're having mince on mash.
Mince on mash.
Because we have to do like 1 or 2 pot meals. Because our barbecue is full of mouse poo.
Oh yeah, we've got some mouse traps set up in the barbecue at the moment because it's being invaded. While we were away for 1 week over in Christchurch, the mice got into the container and started eating the fat around the barbecue. So that's got to be cleaned up and what have you. Mash on mince is pretty good though. I kind of like that sort of food. Duke, it's got the old stick again. Let's give that a go. And we have a new tradie on site. The polyurethane is going on the ceiling currently, and it's Barbara. She is getting our bedroom all polyurethaned, a couple of coats, and then I will lay the carpet and we will be in.
Have to buy some drapes.
Oh yeah, gotta buy some drapes. That almost brings to an end wow, it's sunny. Quite a long video, so well done if you've made it to this point. Thanks for watching. It may be getting a bit boring for you now because, you know, it's just build, but we've got a lot of things going on that are coming up. So it's not just the build that we're going to be doing. Of course, we've got to do some, what I would call pretty boring things like painting. Oh man, I hate painting. However, Barbara's a gun at that, so she's getting into the painting. Some of the things we are going to do that you may be very interested in. At the end of this week, we've got a 5,000 litre water tank turning up. We've got several options for water storage, but this 5,000 litre tank is going to be a bit of a game changer for the cabin itself. We're going to stick that around the back, around there. Also, we've got this container here. You can see it there. I'll take you over and show you that. So this container is going to do all sorts of things for us, not just one storage unit. It's a 40-foot container, so we're going to do several things. Down the very end of the container, we're going to have our toilet, and also we're going to have our solar inverter storage and battery storage all in there, which will then hop across a fence line into the back of our house and connect our power up from the solar panels that are on the roof. So solar power in, down and across over into the container to charge the batteries through the inverter, and then the power from the batteries will come back across to the cabin and power the whole cabin. So yeah, down that end, the next thing to be doing is our toilet. Now we could just build a long drop, but that's smelly. We're going to do composting system that is not smelly, and that's going to be an interesting thing because I've got to dig out underneath the container. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy that sort of stuff. It's going to get really interesting soon. So stay tuned, don't get bored. It is going to change up quite a bit soon.